diseases, causes and control. In the last class, we have learned about the diseases which was caused by bacteria. Today, we are going to learn about the type of diseases which are caused by Protozoa. Here, so let's see the type of diseases which are caused by Protozoa. So first one, we'll discuss about malaria. So I have taken this from the book so that it will be easier for you once you go through the textbook. Alright, so here also I remember the name of the causative agent that causes malaria. That means you have to remember the scientific name of the protozoa that causes malaria. So all of you are aware about this is malaria, right? And we generally say that malaria is mainly caused by a female Anopheles mosquito. But now we are going to learn that malaria is simply caused by a protozoa, and female Anopheles mosquito is just a vector that carries the parasite that causes malaria. Yeah, so now we are going to look into the symptoms of malaria, the treatments of malaria. Yes, first one, let's see the name of the causative agent that causes malaria. So it's mainly caused by a protozoa or a protozoan called Plasmodium. Okay, so the name of the causative agent or the parasites that causes malaria is Plasmodium. So Plasmodium is a protozoa. Here, so protozoan means protozoa. So don't get confused between the word protozoa and protozoa. Clear? It is caused by a protozoa called Plasmodium. There are different species of Plasmodium. This is just the name of the genus. The genus is Plasmodium. Okay, that is a species like Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium falciparum. Okay, there are different species of Plasmodium. So just the name of the genus. Now, this Plasmodium is mainly transmitted through the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito. So this particular Plasmodium, it is transmitted from one individual to another individual through the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito. Alright, so malaria is caused by a protozoa, Plasmodium, and this Plasmodium is mainly transmitted through the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito. So look over here. This is the female Anopheles mosquito, and when we look into the blood smear of a malaria infected individual, then mainly in the red blood cells, RBC, look at this part. You can see the structure. Can you see what is this part? This particular structure is mainly the Plasmodium present in the red blood cell of a malarial infected individual. Yes, this is mainly the Plasmodium present in the blood smear, and this one is the vector, female Anopheles mosquito, that mainly help in the transmission of Plasmodium. Afterwards, I will tell you what is the difference between vector and a carrier. Clear? But we will first finish about the malaria which is over here. So, till now we have learned that it is part of protozoa Plasmodium. It is transmitted by the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito. Next one. When an uninfected female mosquito bites an infected person, the parasite is sucked in along with the person's blood. That means, carefully now. So whenever an uninfected female Anopheles mosquito, when it bites an infected individual or a person, in that case, along with the blood, the malarial parasites will also be taken, will also be sucked by the mosquito along with the blood. See carefully, when an uninfected female Anopheles mosquito, when it goes and bites the infected person, in that case, along with the blood, the parasite that causes malaria will also be taken by the mosquito. Clear? Now, once inside the mosquito's body, now that parasite is inside the mosquito's body. So once inside the mosquito's body, the parasite grows and multiplies within its gut. So inside the body of the mosquito, now parasites will multiply, it will grow. This mosquito is now infected. Now the mosquito becomes infected by Plasmodium, and now it is known as malaria vector. Now why do we call it vector? Vector means those particular organisms, alright, where the parasites will complete half of its life cycle. Clear? Like in case of Plasmodium, you can see over here, for the Plasmodium to survive and to multiply, it requires two hosts. One is the human being, and second one is the female Anopheles mosquito. Because half of the life cycle of this Plasmodium is completed inside the body of female Anopheles mosquito. So it is called a vector. What carrier? Carrier will simply carry the germ like houseflies. Alright, housefly will simply carry the germ from one place to another place. Parasites are not dependent to complete the life cycle inside the body of the houseflies. So carrier will simply carry the germs from one place to another place. But vector, parasites are dependent to complete half of its life cycle. So this Plasmodium will complete its half of the life cycle in the body of the mosquito, and the second half of the life cycle on the body of the human being. So that's why this mosquito is known as vector. Clear? So now, when this vector mosquito bites a healthy person, it transmits the infective stage of the parasites along with the saliva into the bloodstream of the person. So what we have learned? We have learned that malaria is caused by a protozoa, Plasmodium, which is transmitted through the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito. Clear? Now, when an uninfected female Anopheles mosquito goes and bites the infected person, those who are infected by malarial parasites, in that case, that female Anopheles mosquito will suck the blood along with the parasites. Now that parasites will usually grow and multiply in the gut area of the mosquito, and now the mosquito becomes infected with the parasites, and now it is known as the malarial parasite, malarial vector. Now when this vector mosquito goes and bites the healthy person, healthy individual, now in that case, that healthy individuals will be infected by the malarial parasites. So along with the saliva, the parasites will also enter within the body of the healthy individuals, and that individuals will be infected by Plasmodium, which causes malaria. Now, the parasites then grows and multiplies in the liver cells. So when and healthy individuals will be infected by the malarial vector, by the female Anopheles mosquito, when the parasite enters our body, that parasite, that Plasmodium, it goes and multiplies. Just carefully, it will enter our body, it will grow and multiply in the liver cells. That means liver cells will be infected and goes on to infect and destroy the red blood cells of the person. So first one, when healthy individuals will be infected or will infected by a malarial vector, by a female Anopheles mosquito, along with this saliva, the Plasmodium enters the body. Now that Plasmodium grows and multiplies in the liver cell within our body, and finally it goes and destroys the red blood cell, RBC. Now, whenever the red blood cells will be destroyed, it will release a particular chemical called hemozoin. Alright, no need to remember in your case, I am just giving you a brief idea. Whenever the RBC will be destroyed, whenever the RBC will be ruptured, it will release a particular chemical called hemozoin. Hemozoin. And whenever this hemogen will be released from the ruptured, destroyed RBC, then that individual will suffer from chill and high fever. These are the symptoms of malaria. The incubation period of Plasmodium is 3 weeks. Okay. Now, various drugs such as quinine, remember the treatment? Quinine, okay, Paladrin, Tamoxifen are useful in the treatment of malaria, and the disease is common in hot and humid countries. Clear? So what we learn? Remember the name of the causative agent, how they are transmitted. Clear? What is malarial vector? Then what are the symptoms of malaria? Incubation period of Plasmodium. Then the treatment of malaria. And remember these particular terms under this. Clear? So I have declared for you. It is caused by Plasmodium, just briefly. Transmitted by the help of tingle and fleas mosquito. So whenever an infected person will be bitten by an Anopheles mosquito, along with the blood, the parasite enters inside the body of the mosquito where it will grow and multiply. So now the mosquitoes become infected and will act as a vector. Now that vector mosquitoes will go and bite a healthy individual. So along with the saliva, the parasite enters the body of a healthy individual, a healthy person. So within our body, the Plasmodium will enter the liver cell. Right, it will grow and multiply, and finally it will grow and attack the red blood cells. The red blood cells will be ruptured, it will be destroyed, alright, and in that case we will show the symptoms of malaria, which are chill and high fever, and we will keep on continuing, alright, so repeat it on and on till the 3rd day or the 4th day. Well, there is a treatment for malaria by using certain drugs like quinine, Paladrin, and Tamoxifen. But among the 3 drugs, the most important one is quinine. Clear? And malaria is mainly common in hot and humid countries. So I have prepared for you. So can you go through the textbook? Alright? So this one is the first disease which is caused by the Protozoa. Now the second disease that is caused by Protozoa is amoebic dysentery. Right, the second disease that is caused by Protozoa is the amoebic dysentery. It is caused by a kind of amoeba called, remember what this one? Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, the causative agent that causes amoebic dysentery or amoebiasis is Entamoeba histolytica. So here you can see the diagram of Entamoeba histolytica. And when we to see under the microscope, when we take the blood samples of an infected individuals, and when we to see it under the microscope, you can see over here the structures on the parasites over here. So this is the Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, so this is the diagram of the parasites or the protozoa that causes amoebiasis. Now, it causes destruction of the lining of the large intestine. So it will go and infect the large intestine, and diarrhea with gripping pain and discharge of mucus and sometimes blood in the stools. So what are the symptoms? Diarrhea with gripping pain and discharge of mucus, and sometimes in the stool there will be presence of blood. These are the symptoms of amoebiasis. Now, infection is by contamination of food, especially by the flies. So the flies will carry the germs from one place to another place. And when the food, if they are contaminated by Entamoeba histolytica, and if those contaminated food are taken by an healthy individuals, then they will suffer from amoebiasis. So when we used to take the contaminated food, then one will suffer from amoebiasis. Incubation period is about how many weeks? Is from 1 week. Now what is incubation period? Is the time period between the entry of germs and the appearance of the first symptoms of the disease. We used to call it incubation period. So the incubation period for Entamoeba histolytica is 1 week. So between this 1 week, the pathogen will enter our body and it will show the first symptom of the disease. Now, how to control it? Prevention. You have to take proper sanitation, cleanliness, hygienic condition needs to be maintained. Protecting food from dust and flies prevents spreading of the disease. That means food must be well covered. You have to drink boiled water. Alright? If you are going to take a fruit, you have to cover it properly so that the flies cannot sit on those food. So the food will not be contaminated. So proper sanitation needs to be maintained in order to prevent the transmission of the disease hemobiosis. So it's caused by a protozoa, a kind of amoeba called Entamoeba histolytica. Infect the large intestine. Symptoms: diarrhea with dripping pain, discharge of mucus, sometimes blood in the stools. Infection is mainly transmitted by the taking of food which are contaminated by Entamoeba histolytica. Incubation period is 1 week. How to prevent animal transmission? Proper sanitation is to be maintained. Protecting food from dust and flies. It will prevent the disease from spreading or transmitting. Clear? Next one, sleeping sickness. So we'll see the next disease, sleeping sickness, which is caused by a flagellated protozoan. Now what do you mean by flagellated? Flagellate means which bears flagella. F-L-A-G-E-L-L-A. To break the word over here, we will find the word flagella that will help in the movement of the parasites of the protozoa. So those protozoans which bears flagella are known as flagellated. So here you can see the structure of the flagellated protozoan. So here you can see the structure like the tail-like structures which are called flagella. Okay, so the name of the protozoan is Trypanosoma brucei. Okay, and we can see over here the other species: Trypanosoma brucei, rudescensi, and gambiensi. These are the name of the protozoan that causes sleeping sickness: Trypanosoma brucei, gambiensi, and Trypanosoma brucei, rudescensi. These are the name of the protozoan that causes sleeping sickness. Now you can get confused over here, right? We are finding the three terms or three scientific names: Trypanosoma, the name of the genus, brucei, species name, and gambiensi, the subspecies. It's called trinomial nomenclature. Till now we are learning about just two names: genus and species. But here we are finding three words: Trypanosoma brucei, gambiensi, and Trypanosoma brucei, rudescensi. So this means here you find the genus name, Trypanosoma, species, brucei, and subspecies, gambiensi. So it is called trinomial nomenclature. Clear? And remember, you have to underline it when you are writing it. Because every time when you are writing the scientific name, it has to be underlined. Keep it in mind. Okay? Now, this sleeping sickness is transmitted by the bite of a tsetse fly. Okay, it's transmitted by the bite of the tsetse fly. You can look over here. So this is the tsetse fly. So by the bite of the tsetse fly, this protozoa, Trypanosoma, are transmitted from one infected individuals to a healthy individual. So this is the diagram of Trypanosoma, and see the tsetse fly is responsible for the transmission of this protozoa. Symptoms: high fever, headache, itchiness, joint pain. Okay. On later stage, the patient will suffer from confusion, poor coordination, numbness, and trouble in sleeping. Now, since there is trouble in sleeping, it's referred to as sleeping sickness. Alright, so since we can see over here that there will be a problem regarding to the sleeping of an individual, it is called sleeping sickness. Now, this phase is also known as neurological phase. So once there will be the appearance of sleeping problem in individuals, then that particular phase is also known as neurological phase, which can be very, very fatal, which can be very, very lethal. Okay, treatment can be done by the help of the drugs like Malaria. Okay, listen carefully. The drug's name is Malaria. This particular drug is very, very effective for the treatment of sleeping sickness. So it is caused by Protozoa, Trypanosoma, Brucelliniaceae, and Trypanosoma brucelliniaceae. It is transmitted by the help of the SCFI. Symptoms include high fever, headache, itchiness, joint pain, latent stage, one sort of confusion, poor coordination, numbness, trouble in sleeping. Since there is trouble in sleeping, it is also called sleeping sickness. And once there will be appearance of this particular symptoms, it is also known as neurological phase, which is very, very lethal, very, very fatal. It can be cured, and for this treatment, one needs to administer a drug called Malaria. Okay, so here we have finished the diseases which are caused by Protozoa. In the next class, we'll discuss with the viral diseases. Alright, so whatever disease we have done today, in last class we have done about bacterial disease, and hope we have gone through it. And today we will discuss about the protozoan disease. Alright, so kindly go through the diseases which are caused by protozoa. In the next class, we will see diseases which are caused by virus.